much left.
But he's with us and we missed you, Wayne. It's good to have you back. Our first order of business tonight is to go over the meeting minutes for June 14th, 2017. We'll take a few minutes to look over them if you have not read them, and then we'll approve those or make corrections. Any comments, corrections?
A motion to accept the meeting minutes of June 14th as written.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstention.
And one abstention. Okay. I thought tonight, rather than go over a financial report that we don't have yet, and I want to explain that Tim's mother-in-law passed away in Florida, and so Tim had to leave and be out of town for a while, and he's had an audit, so he's a little bit behind, and he hopes to have the report ready by probably the middle or end of next week, so look for that. So I think rather than go over that, there's just a few things that I wanted to bring up that I happen to know about. Number one, you might find in the financial report a change in salaries for the police department. And one of the police officers, David Appleby, resigned. He's going back to work for the state police from whence he came. And in his place is Chris, and John, what's Chris's last name? Whitfield?
I forget.
Well, anyway, we have a new police officer who makes considerably less than Dave Appleby did, because Dave had around 26 years in law enforcement, and Chris has, I think, 2 years, so you'll see a change there. The other thing is that we had, as you know, an employee leave in Public Works who had, I think, 17 or 18 years service, and he has been replaced by someone who's making, I believe, $16 an hour. So you'll see a difference there in that salary line. And those are the two things I know that you might see a difference in. John, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, there's been a couple other changes down at the Public Works Department. They've recently purchased some new equipment. They traded in the International, this was 1990, and they are purchasing a Ford F-550 fully equipped with a new wing plow and sander, which will be delivered sometime late November, early December. And they've also traded in the CAT, the loader, backhoe, and they've purchased a excavator and a loader. The total difference is that we'll have to chip in, trading those two pieces of equipment and getting these three pieces runs about $80,000. That amount, we're looking at a couple different ways of doing it. We do have capital reserve funds, but Tim's working on it, getting it as a loan and still putting our money into the capital reserve and using that money to pay off the loan at 1.95%. There's also a portion of it that could be used from a SB distribution of money from the state that we just received of, I believe it's $52,000 or $54,000, somewhere in there. And some of the money could be used for that, or we could apply it towards any new projects or something to do with roads, bridges, and stuff like that, but they have to do new projects. So there's been a lot of shifting around of stuff.
Why did we get rid of the loader?
The,
Oh, we got a little.
Yes,
That's
yes.
good.
yeah, that was
That's
3 years old.
3 years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
How,
3, it was a 14.
yeah, well, what the difference was in the loader that they got can actually load from the ground right into the trucks and can be used for the snow downtown. It's a larger, I think, a 5-yard bucket compared to 3.5. Probably better.
Yep.
It's a 5-yard bucket. It's, so they can load right from the ground. The other part of it is that if they are working with the excavator somewhere and they need to get back to the Public Works garage to get materials, they would not have to bring the equipment back to the garage and then load it and then go back to the site.
But you can't go to Pikes and get it?
Well, what they're doing is he's purchased, he got some good deals on large quantities of different materials, and he cleared out back where the brush is, and he's stockpiling equipment so that they can just take it from there.
So, now, in 3 years, we're not gonna have to replace the loader and excavator again, right?
that was my question.
Because, I mean, the backhoe is
Done.
3 years old,
Yeah.
and it's considered, it's no good for them?
It was still in great shape, yes, it was. And it was
You know, how, I mean, it's like a Kawasaki loader, and how easy is it gonna be to get parts for it if it needs stuff?
well, the ran all that past them, and that was through Chapels?
It used to be, yeah, sleeper
Yeah.
bought. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
shovels.
they've got the parts, so we'll have to wait and see. They say they have the parts and
Okay, so
do that, so.
now do we have a trailer to haul the excavator?
That came with a trailer to haul the excavator.
Came with a
It came
trailer.
with the trailer,
All right.
which, that was another important thing. The other part was, it's got their detachable bucket on the excavator, so they could put different buckets on it.
So it has a twister wrist?
It's, yep,
Okay, yeah.
so you can do 360 degrees around without having to, like, back up and move.
Does it have a thumb on it, hydraulic thumb?
It doesn't, I didn't see one on it, but I wouldn't doubt that it,
I believe it has a thumb. I wouldn't look at it.
Ah, he's ahead of us.
My concern is that, it doesn't seem very cost effective to me to trade in something that was purchased in 2014. I mean, that, we usually get a lot longer out of any piece of equipment we get, and you're saying that piece of equipment was in real good shape.
yes.
I don't want us to, I see an awful lot of new equipment going into that garage this year. That concerns me.
Well, let's look at the dump truck. That was
It's a 90,
due.
yes.
That was
yes.
due.
That,
Now, one of the big problems that we kept running into continuously was having somebody with the CDL to drive the trucks and to plow. We were having hard times hiring people, hard times keeping people, because right now, if you have a CDL,
Yeah, he's
you-
not.
you're wanted.
Yes.
and people jump ship and stuff like that. And the worst part is if in the middle of the winter somebody leaves, we're stuck. With the 550, it allows for some more flexibility with anybody can drive it without having that CDL. Because it's, I forget, was it 20,000 pounds? It's right like, 10 pounds below
Because it's 19,
That
19
all those before.
Yeah, so 19.5, so, and it's more versatile, so that will take the other two trucks, getting less driving around town on it. And also allow for, if somebody walks in the middle of the winter, we can hire somebody without a CDL to put them into it.
Wouldn't you be
But
paying
you-
less too?
You don't just put anyone into
No.
an F-550
That's what I was
without
gonna
plowing
say.
the
No,
wing.
obviously that would,
Okay.
through the hiring, but.
And then, you just mentioned that they get the loader so they can load their snow, their stuff from the ground or whatever.
Yeah.
A 550 isn't gonna take the load that a six-wheeler does.
No,
So
but we have
what
two
happens
others, so,
when, what happens when one of the others break down?
well, if,
I'm just saying.
yeah, what happens is, okay, we can still haul the snow, they can use the loader, and they can stockpile snow, clear it out of the street, and put it behind, like out by where the fire station is, out back here. This is all that what was explained to me, it was,
So
and then that way, the next day,
you can handle it twice.
it can be handled, well, they can
Twice.
scoop it.
Uh-huh.
But it's less overtime and stuff,
And then load it again and take it away.
yeah.
For $80,000, how long can Kenny come in and do snow removal for 80,000? You're not gonna see it.
Well, it's not the, we were planning on replacing the,
The 90.
the 90.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
the cost to replace that
Mhm.
was going to be, you probably know the prices better with what they run.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So have you traded the truck in already?
Yes.
Okay, so now did you take the body off from the 90 and put on the 99?
On the 99? I'd have to find out from Brock what the,
Because we bought a new body for the 90, okay, which was the same body as the 99, with the intentions of, when they get rid of the 90, they took the body from the 90 and put on the 99 because it's newer, and put the 99 body back on the 90.
I don't know if that was done, if that
That's what, if
information, if he knew about that, but I could ask,
it's just something,
you know.
I
he may
just
not know
hope that when we go to the highway department this time, that we see some kind of a plan in terms of equipment and how long it's gonna last so that this doesn't happen.
Yes, I have like about 4 questions in there.
Sure.
Quick. What's the durability of the was it 550? What is the durability to that truck? Has it been used by other communities for snow removal, snow plowing, and sanding, salting?
let me ask you, did you, they ordered the 550,
Mhm.
now did they order a gas engine or a diesel engine?
Diesel.
It's diesel.
I was at the selectmen's meeting when it was presented. I think, rather than, we don't mean to put you on the
No,
spot.
I'll
but I
answer to
think-
the best of my
I
ability
think-
from information.
I think these are questions when we go to the highway garage. These are very good questions to
Yeah, but-
ask.
But it'll be after the fact by
Right.
then.
Well, I guess one of the concerns is, where do I spend money? One of the questions I have is how durable is that equipment? How long is it going to last in relatively good time? The second question I have for it, what impact will it have on the budget, if any, at this point in time? Thirdly, what else needs to be replaced in a priority, that is priority over there compared to what we're getting?
And those are the questions.
Right, and the fourth question I have is, how can we trade something when we're not sure we're gonna get the money for the new thing?
Well, they're taking it out of
They're
other
taking it
places.
out of the funds
And
they
not
have
the-
in
not the
budget.
budget.
And that's what our concern should be, that they're staying within their budget right now.
Yeah.
When we meet with the highway department, because that's when we should start asking, I think, these questions. Because
One
the
thing I can't
the
explain.
selectmen have already approved the purchase of these things, so it's a done deal.
But those,
One thing I can't explain is we were due to get rid of the 90 truck. To replace that with the cost of a new truck similar to that, but a new one was 150,000 or something.
Yeah.
150, 160,000. Okay, so we had to spend the 150 or 160,000 from our equipment reserve account. We were gonna have to spend that. This way, we got the 3 pieces of equipment. The 550 is nice because it fits better down some of the tree streets up around there, your neighborhood. But as for this out was
So the
presented,
money is already there in the equipment reserve fund.
yes,
So the town has already voted that money,
yes.
so they can't take it back
No,
at this
and
point
the
in time.
selectmen have already approved the purchase.
Not the question I'm asking. The question I'm asking is, so the town is okay to use that money for equipment?
Yes,
Okay, so we're gonna have to ask the town to replenish that coffer at the beginning of the next budget cycle.
we always
We always
replenish
do
it by
that.
$30,000 a year. This time we won't, we'll have actually more because it's in drawing out the amount for the full other truck. We're only going to need 80,000 as
Right.
opposed to
So it is, and I won't pin you down or anything,
No,
but nothing will change from this budget cycle to next budget cycle for a request for more money going into
no,
capital equipment.
no.
So you're using
From
what-
what I'll be right there with you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Me too.
So the money is coming out of the bank account, which is there, with no harm to the town at this point in time. And it's based upon what you heard from Highway. These were priority items that needed to be replaced. And there's nothing else that they needed to replace for the rest of the budget year?
There's nothing that need to be replaced from what I've been told, and I think everything is pretty much new.
And this, well, that was my, going back initially, that was mine. It appears to me that we have everything new now, so we should be looking at the equipment budget when we sit down with Highway this time. And I was in the selectmen's meeting where this was presented, and it came in with Tim's blessing. Tim had done all the number crunching, and looked at all the implications, so it was recommended by Tim as well. I think he worked very closely with Brock on this.
I guess, but when it comes to the funding, we really need to take a look, especially with your tax rate. The school's gonna be going up.
And Tim's doing a little bit of, he hasn't actually, there is that $54,000. Tim gave me a copy of the
Senate bill.
the money that
Yeah.
returned that money to us.
Right.
Yeah,
And he, you know how Tim is with figuring, is it better for us to borrow money, take it from the capital reserve, take it out of this, or a portion from each one, which will actually allow us to do,
Okay.
so Tim will have to be into
Then the
that.
question I would have for the select board is, if we borrow this money, what's the process that's gonna be followed for that to occur? Will the town have the opportunity to vote on this loan at town meeting, or will it be just done through the select board?
we don't usually vote on it.
Yeah, they don't.
It's a town meeting.
Well, it certainly could come in as a warrant article.
Boy, this is something that is being done,
No,
yeah.
no,
so
it's before town
but I-
meeting, it's already been approved, so.
And I will ask about that.
Because in the school, anything that has, you always looking to borrow money, has to be presented to the whole district in order for the loan to occur, even if the money is there. Because the town has a right to accept or reject the loan over the period of time.
This transaction does not add anything onto the tax in the future or less. It will not increase any
Right,
tax.
but
So
I'm just saying that
It's all within the budget.
if the loan is for 10 years, that has a potential, or 5 years, has a potential to impact the budget for those 5 years.
It's not to impact the budget. The idea is that every year we put $30,000 into our capital reserve for it. And that doesn't always buy all the equipment, depending on what we have scheduled.
But what hap-
But if you do take a loan out, the payments for that loan come out of the future year's 30,000 to keep it even, so we're always just spending 30,000.
Only the capital reserve then, not
Only
budget.
capital reserve.
Well, what if the town decides to restrict the use of the capital reserve for equipment, or 1 year during the 5 years, votes not to include any money in that warrant article?
Not to continue to do, to put the 30,000? They could, I would say, yes, they potentially could. It's been put into the budget for, I don't know, 20 years?
At least 15 that I know of
Yeah,
since I've been
every
here.
year. And it's a wise-
it's not really up to this
but-
body to determine that. I mean, it's up to us to question what is being purchased or whatever, but not in terms of what the town will approve or not approve, because we'll present a budget, and this impacts a budget that's already been approved.
What I'm
so-
saying is, it's our job, at least I understand it, to review the budget that is in place to make sure that it's being spent in a wise and effective manner with no impact on years to come.
Yes.
And that's what, this could have potential impact. Doesn't mean it may not happen.
Here's the thing, if you look that we were going to replace that piece of equipment, okay, and that was in the plan for capital for the equipment replacement,
Exactly.
would have cost us $150,000, $160,000.
When we're spending.
Now we're only, it's around 80,000.
Yeah.
So we're actually coming out ahead and spending less than we had predicted to spend.
And I'm not disagreeing with the basic behind it, but I do think it's my role to advocate for the citizen who's saying, why are we buying all this new equipment with money when we could be doing other things with it? And I think that's part of our job, is to make sure we're effectively and within reason, within the framework of the budget that they passed, not outside. And if we do go outside the framework of this year's budget, or potentially, which includes the warrant articles, because that's part of the framework that they voted on as a total package, it's something we need to take a look at.
Right.
Anything
Saved
else?
up the questions for Brock.
And I would hope that we have time to ask those questions that I have, because tonight we were unable to address what I thought were pretty simple questions.
I can address any that you wish.
That would be up to the chairperson.
What questions are those?
Question was, what's the durability of the new equipment? Has it been tested by any other town within the state or locality for the use that we're proposing?
The 550s are, I think that's the most durable thing that they have before they go into something that's over 20,000 pounds. It's Ford F-550, and it's workhorse. You could ask, that would probably have to be, I'm not sure about durability. How long would it last?
Yes.
I think the plan was, and I asked Brock about that specifically, because a larger truck would last us 30 years. How long would this truck last? I think that's what you're asking. And they are putting it into the replacement schedule up between 10 and 12 years, working on that. So, now keep that in mind, that number, because this is what I hit them with. So, if you're spending $150,000 every 30 years, which will probably go up,
Yeah.
30 years will be more, the comparison of every 10 to 12 years, you're actually buying 2.7 trucks of those. So that's the difference that is also calculated in there. So that's probably what you want to know. Okay, so I did get the answer on that, and there
I
were
was
some
gonna say,
numbers that I
Brock
figured
did
out,
give-
and the difference
Brock
per year.
answered that question at the selectmen's meeting, I know.
So we need to find that out, because that's what you're potentially asking, like how long before you gotta replace this compared to a larger truck?
Right. And not only just like, and you're better than this, but not just like the motor, but what happens when the body starts to rust out? Will it rust out? What's the
Frames
impact?
crack,
Huh?
frames crack.
Frames crack,
You
okay.
know,
So
they're
I'm just looking at how we're gonna spend the money for the next few years, and highways loading up in the front end, which is okay. We do that all the time. I just want not to have to go to the town 2 years from today, 2 years from now and say, we have to go buy a new truck.
It won't be 2 years.
I'm just saying, I don't wanna have to
It
go there.
better not.
Right, I'm
I
saying,
thought he said 10.
so that's why I want
Think
to know.
I thought
Now,
he said 10
so,
because it's
with the
less.
front loader, same, the durability is good on that?
I like, on which one?
Was it the front loader also?
I'll have to get that information.
Okay,
And,
I mean,
you know,
that's all I wanna know is, because if I'm planning the budget for this year, I wanna keep in mind budgets coming down the road, and what impact they will have, like with maintenance, or with replaceability, and durability, and all that stuff. And it was a great question, whether it's gas or diesel, which would certainly have an impact on it.
It is diesel, I'm pretty sure of that.
I think you
Thank you,
said
John.
Cummins diesel at once. Oh, what's it else?
The Ford?
Yeah.
Is it Ford diesel?
Is it Ford?
Yeah.
And I did talk to Brock, and we mentioned to him that he will have to now come up and revise the maintenance, the replacement schedule.
Right.
Because of different types of equipment.
And the last question I have is, you said that this truck, medication's getting to me. This truck can be driven with someone without a CDL.
Yes.
Does the liability change if someone is driving it who does not have a CDL?
No.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I mean, they gotta have plowing experience, it's got.
Yeah, somebody would have to be
Right,
hired
right.
with experience.
Yeah.
It's
Jane and I
easier.
are gonna do the first plow.
What we found, when
I'll
we had a couple
drive.
times, we get somebody in, we get them a CDL,
And they leave.
and then they leave. Because now, we hire them in, we give them a raise when you know, like the new guy that we got, started him low, he's going to get a small raise once he has his CDL, and he has to have it by a certain date, or he's out the door. And I think that was coming up next month, I think, by the 1st.
So the 550 will never have a CDL.
You don't need to have the CDL.
Right. So there is no advancement for that person over to town shed.
2 other trucks require CDLs.
Okay.
But, so what was happening is the last person, we got him in, got him trained on the CDL, drove it, and he, you know, see, if you look in the paper, you'll see, everything is
They got
CDL
side
drivers.
roads, yeah.
So none of the heavy equipment, like the front loader, any of that needs to be CDL.
I don't
They
think
don't
so.
check it, but,
No,
yeah.
you don't need a CDL to drive a loader.
Okay.
I don't-
You get a license, but,
Good.
A driver's license.
yes, you have a driver's license.
We can drive it.
Yeah.
Christine and
I
will
did an
drive.
excavator before.
There you
Sounds
go.
like a plan.
All right, I had one other question about, another question of, the mechanic. We have a mechanic there now.
Yeah.
Is he repairing all of these new pieces of equipment?
These are under warranty, naturally, but,
Yeah.
regular maintenance, yes.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Yes. Where are recycling? Because this says we were getting Jensen's by, I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
I saw him delivering buckets the other day.
I don't
I've got
have,
the answer. They are in the process of delivering them. You will be getting your black one and the.
oh, I already have a
Get
big
two.
one.
The new one, no, they're new ones.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So you're
get
gonna
2 new
replace the
ones?
ones we already have?
This is what you're gonna be getting, and
All right.
I could be off a little bit on this because of the brochure. It was, let me tell you, talking trash for the last 3 years. It was horrible. Finally, everybody, including Jensen's, is going to be getting, or will have a recycling container and a 96 gallon, is it? The recycling container, the
Yeah,
96
right.
gallon trash can. Everybody will have one of those. They will be on a schedule. All of your trash must be in the in the trash bucket,
Yeah.
and all of your recycling must be in the recycling bucket with a schedule that's very set for doing it. The trash collecting will now be done by one driver, one truck, assigned to our town, and he will be doing our town all week. If you have a problem or you miss something, especially in the beginning, the guy that's in charge, his phone number will be right there on his cell phone. And he's a great guy. You can call him up and they will send a truck out the next day to pick up.
Are they taking the bins we already have? That were from the,
No.
so that's gonna be
You
my
have-
one, my recycling, I have a recycling.
You have your recycling
It'll
that
be
you already
for your
have,
regular trash.
Okay,
and regular trash. And everything is in two things. It tells you how to set them at the curb. It's automated, they pick it up. Your trash must be put in trash bags in that container.
yeah, yeah. This actually
If
will
it's not-
eliminate some of the nasty grams, because in my area, you can't bring your trash the night before. It's too many animals, so we have to
Yep.
put it out, we have to run there. If you don't have it there by 7 o'clock, they give you a sticker on your bin, or your mailbox.
Yeah,
So that will
this is
help, that will
finally-
help put that out
I think it
early.
might be next week, but please.
Okay.
Well, I saw them
They're
delivering them.
delivering them.
They were delivering them out on Coney Road. I saw them,
Okay,
2 days ago.
Hmm.
I want to say they were delivering them to Gaslight Village, but I may be wrong.
is the
Yes, I know
recycling
it's
still the
different.
same rules?
Mhm.
So like no,
Right.
the shopping bags?
We probably, if the select board is going to send out a new flyer about the rules.
Oh, yeah. We're not even having to do that. They are doing the whole thing, hands off. Joyce won't have to handle any phone calls or anybody at town hall. There's one number, and it rings right to his pocket,
Yep.
and he will answer it.
Because people on my street, the confusion lied in cardboard boxes. They were cutting them up, folding them, and putting them on top of the recycling, and they were getting yellow stickers,
I got one.
okay, telling them that, not acceptable.
No,
And
it
they're
says
going-
don't put it on top.
Right.
That's what it says.
Yeah, so they ended up spending days, kids are cutting up boxes at like 50 cents a piece and stuffing them in the recycling thing. But a lot of people were saying, why are we having to do this? It's all recyclable materials. Either that or what they do now is they take it and take the big box, fold them up, and ram them into the container, and so nothing gets out. So if you could just say, remember, like cardboard boxes,
Break them down.
cut them up, da-da-da-da-da, stuff like that would help out.
Just break them down, step
That's
on them, that's what I do,
common
and they go
sense.
right in.
Some of the bigger ones, like the banana boxes,
I rip
Oh,
them.
I just break them up, I pull them the apart and step on them, and fold them over, and step on them again, they go right in.
and I'm just saying, if we could just get, take a set of those. The other thing is, it's a quick one, what's the
As
difference
long as you don't
between
put it on
commercial
top, I put on.
trash and residential trash?
Commercial trash is for businesses as well as rental units or units of, I'm not gonna say the number because.
I
Yeah.
don't know what the number
But
is.
let's say it's 3 or more per
Right.
building, or 5 or whatever it is. And those, at that point, would have to make other arrangements.
Because there's a gentleman on West Street who runs a fruit stand. He takes all his produce out at home, but leaves all the boxes and stuff on the side of the street. And they never get picked up. So the question would be, is it a commercial or residential? And I would call code enforcement, but that's the reason for the question, is because he does his fruit stand. Not there, but he takes all the stuff out and brings it.
Yeah, I think you'll see that they've been lenient up until now, and then they're going to begin to educate people
Good.
on how to do it. And it will keep costs down because you only need one person to empty the trash for the whole town. You don't need to have a.
And they do it, I don't want, he had, I saw somebody who has a square trash can, like the square recycling can, and they took it, put it on the end and dumped it, just like they do the recycling. So apparently these are square, the ones that we'll be getting, so they can just do everything automatically.
And the purple bags, we have plenty of leftover purple bags. All of
I still
those
have
can
some.
still be purchased at, I'm not sure if it's at the garage, but at Town Hall, I know that. And if you have any excess trash, you can go and have a stock of purple bags and you can bring them down and throw them into the Public Works Department. Anything that goes into the Public Works Department has to be in a purple bag. And then that's
Is that gonna be in
what
the,
works.
is that gonna be in the mailer too?
All that information's
Okay,
right in
all
there.
right,
Good, thank you,
Along
Joe.
with his number, so.
okay.
no-
You're
no
so
town-
happy to say it's
no
his number.
town employees have to go and spend any time explaining anything.
Oh, but it's so much fun.
I have two more. Did we meet with state on Caleb Hill yet?
Do we meet what?
With the state, because Pat said we were meeting with the state soon for Caleb Hill.
As far as I know, you have not, have you?
Is it
I don't
scheduled
think
at all?
I have no idea.
I know that there
And
is
then
a
I saw the parks people, the highway department doing all the mowing
No,
recently, yeah.
DOT's been up on
Yep.
Winter Street,
Oh, yeah.
digging up Winter Street,
They're digging up next across from the
Oh.
school right now on Winter.
digging up the shoulder.
They're doing drainage right now up there.
Yeah.
They're gonna be putting the water line in probably in September, and then they'll repave.
I'm curious about this, and nobody here can answer this question, but Route 132, why do they repave that? This is a
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
a rhetorical question. Why do they repave Route 132 every 2 years, and we have all these other state roads that never get repaved? I don't understand that. That's for the governor if you're listening.
Maybe there's a highly representative that lives on that road and get it done.
I have no idea who
Yeah.
could possibly live there. The last thing I have is that you will have a copy of the Tilton proposed schedule for the 2018 budget preparation for the Board of Selectmen.
Alright.
I gave this to Johanna too, and we're gonna follow the same schedule we followed last year.
On Thursdays?
That's when the selectmen meet.
Oh,
This is their schedule,
okay.
okay? This is when Tim will have things to them, okay, when they're going to be meeting with the various departments,
Okay.
just to give us a clue as to what's coming down the pike. And as soon as you get that schedule and make the contact, she'll email that to us, right?
Yep.
Okay, anything else? And hopefully look next week for the latest budget from Tim.
Okay. Are we meeting not till September again?
And then we'll start meeting once a week.
September or October?
Usually it's October. Usually what happens is I send out the letters between now and usually the beginning of September, giving them till the first meeting in October to get their budgets in. And then,
So eat your Wheaties.
Well, tax deadline's the 15th of October, so that works for me.
Yep.
This is the selectmen's schedule.
This meeting.
I had a question, Will. In the past, we've had a cutoff date for outside agencies to get their
We're gonna
budgets
start
in,
doing-
or you snooze, you lose. I didn't know if we were going to adopt that this year. I
I
know.
thought we'd
on
already talked about that, didn't we? And I thought we were going to
We gave
adopt
somebody
that.
a chance again last time. I
Well,
remember.
because their executive
no
director had
director.
left, so they never got, they
The
didn't have a
notice.
new one. That was Family Services, I believe. Their director had left,
Yeah.
retired.
I'd say
they didn't
snooze,
have a
you lose,
new
but
one.
unless they have.
Yeah, unless otherwise.
It's gotta be a good
they-
excuse.
Definitely.
Yeah, that one's gonna
Yeah.
be a good one if they don't have a person.
Okay.
Now, are we
Should we
meeting
set
them
a-
all here, or are we going to all their places like we started last time?
We're gonna go to all their places, we do that every year.
Can we set a date for the selectmen's budget? Let them know.
For their budget, we want it by
Oh,
then.
yeah, because they kept saying it'll be this day, it'll be this day.
Well,
And request for a draft of,
I would like to see a draft at the same time that, when is their draft supposed to be ready? I thought,
Well, it looks like we might start 11th, October 11th.
it says board presentation to budget committee of November 29th.
that's too, that, we need it before then. I don't see where they're gonna have a draft, it doesn't say here.
Okay, if we look at October 26th, or the selectmen will be reviewing and recalling of any agencies, department heads, or boards, or commissions. So,
Well, the budget drafts are gonna be at the selectmen's by September 1st. That's what it says. So how much time do they need?
Hmm?
The first line under notes says that the department budgets drafts are due to the Board of Selectmen by September 1st.
so would like October 19th be reasonable, so we could
That's a
maybe
month
even,
and a half.
or maybe the 11th, if we had then a draft, that would also allow us to send back to the selectmen questions
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah,
that they could
that's good,
recheck
yeah.
their draft and revise it before they come up with their final, so that we aren't just getting a final
Ugh,
and then hitting that and playing ping pong
Yeah,
on the 29th.
Okay, you're the selectman representative, John. You let them know. October 11th.
I know Pat's gonna be watching this.
I know, hi Kat.
She's gonna say, John, what are you doing to us? So, we'd like, the budget committee would like a draft
It's just a draft,
on
yeah.
what date?
Draft budget.
On a specific
well, I'm
date?
looking as to when they're gonna
When the
have,
paper's in front of me, I'm happy.
Yeah, it was tight last time. Really tight. So you don't want to. The 11th thing is the draft.
well, I would think,
I think a month and a half should be plenty of.
yeah, I
Just
would
for a
think so
draft.
too.
So, what do you think, October 18th or something? Have, ask if they can get a draft to us by then? That would
All
give
right,
us
give them
one.
the option of the 11th or the 18th.
I would say the 18th.
I wrote it in pen, now it's one more down.
Floating.
Because we're gonna have to have, they'll probably have a draft ready, because then they're gonna start recalling if they have any questions. You're gonna deliver that message to them, John?
Right now,
Thank you.
Hmm?
This will be much fuller after the. This is mine.
I go and throw mine out for the, I keep the last year and everything, you know, and then
Yeah, I think I'll
I've
get
taped
rid of the year
those
before,
together and
so.
then, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Anything else?
I make a motion, we adjourn?
Is there a second?
Second. Come on, you gotta catch up.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
This is a motion to-
Hopefully we'll have another member.
John, you're gonna,
I'll take a dark blue one.
tilt the camera?
Oh. Ugly.
That's chocolate.
Sure.
With white. The red ones are, the white is yellow,
White,
the
yeah.
dark blue is
Still
dark
green.
chocolate, and the red is milk
Oh,
chocolate.
How we done
Hi,
that?
Arthur, thank
He
you.
wants a blue too.
Dark
Another blue. Go down.
healthy.
Dark chocolate.
Coming over.
Dark-
Okay, I don't know if it's on or not.
Milk chocolate.